You can't hear me. Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Cleopadra Sophia the Bodhi, and this is another entry into our scales videos. I can't remember what I called the scales. Lord. Anyway, we're gonna do the duality scale today. This is the scale of choices. So my goal is to do 2 of these a week. So you may end up getting 4 of these this week to make up for the fact that I didn't do any last week. But basically I'm going to try to cover 2 of these a week. Now, previously I said I was going to go into extreme detail with this, and we may need to do that and we may not need to do that. I may be able to make the point without going into super detail. So we'll feel it out as far as actually covering the content is concerned. So I've already done the introduction and the unity scale, which you'll be able to find at a playlist underneath this video at some point. Okay. So the scale of 2 is all about choices. These are very basic things. Now, as I mentioned, if you want to know if somebody is on the scale of duality, you would just see how they frame things. If they frame things as either this or that, either right or wrong, and there's no gray, there's no other explanations, like either you're black or you're white. You're either white or you're Hispanic. There's no such thing as a white Hispanic to these people. They don't understand that. They read the Bible and it's very either or, like either you're saved or you're not saved. There's no explaining what that secret third thing is, or the fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever. There's just no, there's that doesn't exist, okay? So in the physical world, this is male or female. This is um like literally either you have male energy or you have female energy. Now we all have both, right? But when people are on this scale, you're either male or you're female. There is no um space for both, okay? It's either or. In absolutes, this is white or black. Like if you're not white, then you're black. Um, in the computer world, this is 1, which is male, and female, which is 0. And that's why 10 is not 10, it's 1 and 0. And really, it's not 1 and 0, it's you want to put them together and make 5, right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about duality, okay? So it's either 1 or it's 0. 0, of course, is reflective of the portal. In the realm of questions, like if you're asking questions, it's either no or it's yes. If you're a male, you should be leading with no. If you're a female, you should be leading with yes energy. This is something I have to remember. Actually, I do this. I stopped saying no to everything and I started saying, we'll see, I'll make an effort. Let's see how things play out. That kind of thing. That is very feminine in nature. So if you're a female in a female body and you have a lot of masculine energy, this is one of the simple things that you can do to start to lean more into feminine energy, okay? Because it is possible for you to reflect out energy that's different from what you are on the outside. But of course, that's in my skills of enchanting reading, where I will go into that in more detail, okay? In the exemplary world, this is Jah. So these are all people who, if you're either referring to Jah, if you're a male, or if you're a female, you're referring to El. El Shaddai, like this is why Naomi said El Shaddai has dealt with me bitterly, because she is in a female in feminine energy, okay? And this is the name of God with 2 letters. This is the first like actual descriptor we have. Name of God with 2 letters. So Jah would probably just be J-A, and or it's spelled J-A, but it's the A-H is A is pronounced A-H, okay? Um, all right. So in the intellectual world, this is either your soul or an angel. So it's either you on the inside of yourself, right? or an angel who is on the outside of you. So, for example, when Mary was approached by Gabriel, right? Gabriel, that was an angel on the outside of her. So these are two intelligible substances. Your soul, you can also understand as being the core of who you are. So this would be on the inside of you. This is something that is from within, okay? That's the difference between soul and angel. In the celestial world, this is the moon or this is the sun, and these are the two great lights. And so males need to connect with the moon more. Men are from the moon, like I said, because it's very emotional. Your emotions are reflecting, they're reflecting back to the earth, and they're also reflecting back to the sun. The earth also being masculine in nature. So the sun being feminine in nature, obviously. In the elemental world, you have the earth, as I just mentioned. And for on the female side, you have water. So these are two elements producing a living soul. So this would be the earth would be Geb, the water would be Nut. This is how that story in the Egyptian pantheon plays out. Okay, and you need both of these. You can't have a living soul without earth and water. Like, it doesn't work, and that's where a lot of people are out of balance. So if you're a male, you should be focusing on earth energy, and if you're a female, you're focusing on your water energy. That does not mean that you spend time by the water necessarily, because a lot of men are in earth energy, but they overdo their earth energy and they don't have any water energy. And it's the same thing with females, except you have females who overdo it on earth energy too, because earth energy is very easy to overdo. All right. In the lesser world, it's the heart and the brain, which is two principal seats of the soul. The soul can either be in your heart or it can be in your brain. If you're a male, your soul is in your heart. Again, the bleeding heart of Jesus. Like, and if you're a female, it's in your brain, which is why you have to keep your head covered, because that's where your soul resides. Like, this is how this works. Okay. In the infernal world, you have the behemoth and you have the Leviathan. Again, mommy Leviathan. Like, as I go through this stuff, and just like so much of what I said was just, it was confirmed, but it wasn't in a language that I understood. But now it's really clear. I apologize. My congestion is pretty bad today. You also have the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. These are the two things that Christ threatens to the damned. So men should be in crying energy, which is personal, private, right? And females do gnashing of teeth, which is loud and out there and bold. And so this is how this energy shows up. I feel like I did this video already. But I didn't see it. So maybe I just talked about it without about something else. So if you're trying to figure out if you're in your own energy as a female, you would be wearing black. You would be saying yes. The goddess you would refer to is El. You need to be in the sun. Sunbathing is very important for women, whereas moon gazing is important for men. Water is important for women. The brain, like focusing on your brain health. I talked about methylene blue a long time ago. It helps to rebuild your mitochondria. So that may be something you look into. The female energy is the Leviathan. Like, of course, these people are working with the female energy. It's just, is it a proper Leviathan, like a good one, or is it a bad one? That's where we have a problem, because the deceiver has multiple copies of these things, and you have to be very careful that you're not being deceived. Okay. And by staying in your own energy, it's very difficult, like, to be deceived. So, for example, let's take the example of the Leviathan, right? If you are in your own energy and a entity comes to you claiming to be the Leviathan, it should be telling you yes. Like, yes, you are beautiful. Yes, you are strong. Yes, you are amazing. Not, no, you're not beautiful. You're not strong. You're amazing. You need me. And if you work with me, then you'll be beautiful and strong and amazing. Absolutely not. You are beautiful, strong, and amazing without the Leviathan. So again, the infernal world, okay? On the side of the males, males should be wearing all white. Male should be leading with no and then say yes later, you know? That's why that story of the parable of the prodigal son is a little odd because you have you know, the father leading with no, which why I said a long time ago that was probably the mother. Um, it's the soul. The soul is on the inside. Men tend to their soul on the inside. It's the moon gazing. It's the earth, farming and putting your hands in the dirt and grounding and all that stuff is male energy, right? In the lesser world, it's your heart, you know. This how you know a lot of females are in male energy because the number of black females with heart disease has been skyrocketing. That's because females are in male energy. We're not supposed to be in male energy. We need to be focused on our brain and using our brain to solve problems, multitasking, and all those kind of things. The behemoth, I'm assuming that's some kind of a monster. Let's look that up. And the weeping again, sad crying. Let's not look it up. I'll look it up, but I won't pull the whole screen because normally I would. What is the behemoth? Let's just see. All right. This is according to AI, so I'm not going to read all of this. The behemoth is a giant, powerful creature from the biblical book of Job, which has become a metaphor for anything monstrous in size or power. It can also refer to the Polish extreme. Okay, there's a band. Okay, so biblical creature. Behemoth is a primeval land creature described in the book of Job, often identified as a hippopotamus or large animal, symbolizing immense power. Behemoth is used to describe anything that is large, powerful, overwhelming. And in demonology, the behemoth is a nocturnal demon associated with indulgence. Okay. So men can um know that they're in their energy is if they are behaving as if they are larger than life. But there's a way to do this so that you stay in the positive, right? So if you're behaving as if you're larger than life, right? And in this behavior of being larger than life, you again are in a positive orientation, meaning you are larger than life because it's in you, it's not on you. Like you don't have to go to one of these demons and make a deal to say, hey, if you guys help me become a titan in industry, then I will do X. You don't need that. You as a man are a behemoth all on your own. Now I understand why they was kept making fun of like Stacey Abrams and showing her as this big, huge, giant, not making fun of her, actually, that was her campaign, like showing her as this big, huge, giant woman is because they wanted her to be a behemoth. So they literally treated her as if she was a behemoth, like she was larger than life. She was the greatest thing going. Like that's not, women are supposed to be like more in Leviathan energy. Again, a positive Leviathan is, let's look up the Leviathan real quick. Let's get a good definition. Just like we got behemoth, let's get a working definition of Leviathan. Leviathan meaning. The Leviathan is a sea monster. Okay. This are a whale or a crocodile, a thing that is very large or powerful, except especially a ship. So, okay, so the Leviathan is something that's large and powerful, but it uses a vessel. Okay, there's a vessel and there's water, emotions involved. Behemoth is a large and powerful thing that operates on the earth. So it's a difference between, are you a large, powerful thing emotionally, or are you a large, powerful thing physically? Okay, women are supposed to be large and powerful emotionally. You should be able to use your emotional skills to get people to do things. Men are supposed to be large and powerful physically. Okay, that's the difference between the behemoth and the Leviathan. So people who are manipulating the Leviathan energy are being large and powerful to manipulate people out of what is real, out of the unity scale. And if you're being a positive Leviathan, you are using your emotional energy to get people to cling closer to the unity scale. Okay, I think that's the best way to describe it. So I'm not going to beleaguer this. I think that's a good place to stop. So we'll be continuing on with our discussion of the scales. Okay, so shalom, peace and blessings, and we will see you in the next video.